Welcome to the show, folks. It's Jason Bible. I'm here with Rob Trigg of Jet Lending, and we're going to talk about hard money loans, which I like to call kind of temporary loans, right? Construction, usually for construction-related purposes, right?
Before you get new construction, got some new construction products that we've gone live with, and or what I like to call creative financing.
Creative.
Yeah, we just get creative on how we can do it for you.
That's right. That's right. So actually, last time you were here, you and I were talking about new construction. So that product is now out in the wild.
It is out there in the sphere, of getting things done.
Okay. So you guys funded any yet, or just getting started?
I've gotten close to funding one. It's a new product, so there's some bumps in the road.
Sure.
But I'm getting close to funding one. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Good deal. So, single family house. You got a lot somewhere, the Heights or Westview or something, and just looking for somebody needs a couple $100,000 to get it going.
Yeah. Credit score requirements, that's a box you got to check. 5 or more deals, box you got to check. Like we talked about last time, it's not for your average new investor that's saying, hey, I think I could build a new house. It's for the guys that have a little bit of experience and are having tough times getting funded. So 5 or more deals is a prerequisite that kind of must be checked.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. You get these guys out of some of these classes, and they're like, hey, so I can't find a house to flip, so I'm just going to build one because I can do it at 65% ARV. And you're like, dude, you don't. No, that's not going to work.
That's not going to work.
That's not going to work at all. So, other than that, what's kind of going on at the Jet shop? What are you guys seeing first of the year? Today is the 7th.
It is the 7th. Feels like a whole month's already gone by.
Yeah, I know. It's been like since Monday, right? I feel
Monday.
the same way. I'm like, geez, is it like the 23rd already?
It does. I woke up, told my wife this morning, I was like, is it only January 7th? It's crazy. We're busy. We are about to launch personally inside of Jet Lending. We just launched it January 3rd. A new software is going to make it so much easier to close a loan. It'll alert you through the processes, like, hey, here's your loan is in initial review. These are the documents we need. Once it gets to appraisal ordered, hey, it gets you alert your appraisal's been ordered. These are the additional documents. Streamlining everything.
Yeah.
Me and Alex have been building this for about a year, and we finally got it to a point that we're like, all right, it's time to go.
Yeah.
So it's going to make things so much smoother.
Okay. Well, that's good. I was chatting with Kevin, and he was telling me like tons of deals coming in. Just seems like you guys are just blowing and going right now first of the year.
We are.
We've been in capital raising mode, and I sent out one email this week, and it looks like we are over 50% towards one of our goals already. It's kind of like everybody was kind of asleep around Christmas time, a little malaise from elections, all that. Now everyone's like, okay, now we got to get back to work.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, especially I don't want to talk about politics, but after what happened yesterday, I think everybody's like, okay, enough's enough. Let's get back in the mainstream of doing business.
Rob and I we've already talked about it. We're going to end up doing a whole show on it. It's going to be very interesting. There's It is, it comes down to what are you spending your time doing?
Exactly. Are
we marching around dressed like Chewbacca in a bikini like I posted on Facebook? Or are we increasing our, I'll give this little tangent. You've obviously been, how long have you been with Jet now?
5 years.
You've been with Jet 5 years. Okay.
Doesn't seem like it. We were just talking about that yesterday.
I know, it doesn't seem like you've been there that long.
It's been going on 5 years, and I'm just like, we interviewed a new girl yesterday, and we were all in the interview, and I was like, hey, I woke up this morning and I realized I'm 5 years.
Yeah.
And she's like, it goes by quick, and I'm like,
oh, it goes by super fast.
It was like, the older you get, it goes even faster. So
I had when I turned 40 2 years ago, I had one of my a friend and one of our first private lenders, and he was in his 80s. He passed away this time last year, and he said, Jason, the first 40 goes by pretty quick. He said the last 40 goes by really fast. And he said, you got to make sure you slow down every now and then and appreciate it. And I thought that's a really nice note that he sent. And he's right. It's like that last 40, like
It's like a jar of marbles, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there's an analogy about your life, and most people start looking at that jar of marbles in their mid-40s, you know, because you're packing it with sand and all this other stuff. And the marbles, each year, one marble comes out.
Right,
on
right,
how much
yeah.
time you have left, but you're still packing it with
With
sand
other stuff,
and
right, yeah.
that's noise. That's the
Right.
noise around it. You're packing is, and they say that jar, no matter what, those marbles are coming out each year.
Yeah.
But all you do is keep packing it.
Keep packing stuff in.
Yeah.
I'm preparing right now for our year-end review, which is for us is in February. So I do a year-end review. I'm on usually on just about everybody's panel through January, and then in February I do what happened in 2020 and my prediction for 2021, and then I go back to what I predicted this time last year. And in any case, I've been preparing all that, and this year's theme is, it's. You can go out and become a millionaire in real estate or a billionaire, a couple $100 million, and we're doing extremely well. And one of the things I keep telling people, like, you'll hear some people say, hey, it's not the money, it's the lifestyle you lead and that sort of thing. And I don't really look at it that way. The way I look at it is, who is the person you're becoming?
Yeah.
And I think it's not necessarily the time. It's like, who am I becoming as I'm building wealth and going through this process and building companies and doing outreach and all that other stuff. It's who is it that you're becoming ultimately, because that's going to be the important part in your life moving forward. So, like you said, who have you become there over at Jet?
Well, I mean,
the last 5 years.
When I started out, I told this new loan officer that we actually hired yesterday. She starts in a couple of weeks. I told her, I was like, when I started this, it was just for fun to make some extra money. I've got retirement from the military, benefits from the military.
You were in 21 years?
Yeah. And, Johnny called me one day, said, hey, come to work with Jet. And I was like,
no, that's not how it works. Hey, man. Hey.
Rob,
look, I got something for you.
Look, I got tickets to a football game, but that's not what I'm calling you about. And he called me and he's like, hey, why don't you come over here and work at Jet,
It'd be kind of fun.
It'd be kind of fun. It's fun doing this on the. I'm like,
that's totally him. It's kind of fun.
It's kind of fun. And I said, Johnny, I don't know. And he said, no, come on over here. So I accepted the job. Never in my wildest dreams would I be the senior loan officer running all the loan officers in a matter of 5 years, or running that side of Jet Lending. It didn't appeal to me then, but as you got in it, and you're like, oh, if I ever get in that position, I'm going to do this, and this, or train this, and this way, and build these systems that me and Alex are building. Me and Alex, we think a lot alike on, this is how the way that the company and systems that we put in place, this makes sense, and we agree on 99.9% of the time. On everything, the decisions that we make. But it's all beneficial to the new loan officers that can come in. If you've never done this job ever, you could just sit down in front of a computer and close a loan.
Which is perfect. It's great for everybody, right?
It's great for everybody.
But to go back to the premises, this is kind of like, the new year is, the Jim Rohn, and I think he's absolutely right. Everyone's trying to figure out what the secret of life is. What's the secret of life? Is it families, relationships? And he's always said the secret to life is growth. And how he defines growth is, a reasonable amount of progress in a reasonable amount of time.
Yes.
And I think people greatly overestimate how much they can get done in a year, but underestimate how much they can grow in 5 years. And so I think your experience is a testament to that.
Yes. I mean, if you just slow down and look a little every now and then, you'll see the progression that you've made. Because everybody gets so busy and busy. Like
filling a fill of sand.
Yeah.
All right, we get back from the break. I'm going to talk more with Rob Trigg of Jet Lending's Jason Bible, Texas Real Estate Radio Network. Look at that, A-Rock. I hit you right on time, didn't I? Boom!
Boom.
Don't even have to make it. Sometimes if you go short, they got to speed it up so you sound like the Chipmunks. That's not that bad, but it's... Yeah. No, that's if you go long, they speed it up. Otherwise, they got to chop and screw it if you go short.
That's too
Everybody sounds like DJ Screw, man. A little flip. That's right. Give me that purple drink. Let's do it. Let's knock him out. Welcome back. Jason Bible, Texas Real Estate Radio Network. I'm here with Rob Trigg of Jet Lending, and we're talking about the new year. New year, new you. It's like new year, new Jet.
Man.
Getting a new system, new products.
Yeah, we're excited about it. I mean, we really are. We've come so far in such a little bitty time period. It's like we talked about this last time. I can be anywhere in the United States and close a loan. Now I can be anywhere in the United States and see the progress of the loan.
I will tell you this, and people don't believe it. I buy houses in this city, and I never look at them.
You told me that once.
I do it all the time. I'm just like, because somebody eventually goes out there, one of the rehab guys, one of the construction guys, right, and just make sure my numbers are right. But I tell you, I don't even leave to get into my truck to go look at something. Now, if something's kind of close, or I may pop over there, but I don't need to go look. I'm the last guy that needs to be looking at these things.
Yeah.
Like my construction guys need to go out there and look at it. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I can walk in and say, within $5 a foot, I can say, all right, this is a rehab right here, right? And I need to get an idea of what the neighborhood looks like. But none of our deals are that close, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Like they're not on the margin that tight. So, yeah, you ought to be able to do this from anywhere. I'm getting a lot of inquiries from guys that are outside the state. And they're saying, hey, can I invest in Texas? I'm like, dude, I invest in Houston and don't even look at the houses I bought. In fact, my personal residence, I think I contracted it before I even went out and looked at it.
I did that.
Oh, you did?
I did that on one of my personal. I sure did. I contracted it.
Were you moving? Were you with the military and you're moving, or yeah,
sight unseen?
Yeah, we just need a house, babe. Let's go.
No, I wasn't married at this
time.
That's
single. Even better.
Yeah, it's even better.
Yeah, you don't care, right?
I don't care. I just need 4 walls and a kitchen and
that's right.
And a tub.
Yeah, you got a microwave and a shower.
I'm good. It was on a pretty lot next to a pond. I had no idea when I got there. It was a beautiful lot. It's a little small 1,200 square foot house. Just me.
Yep.
Man, I bought it sight unseen. I literally pulled up to Tennessee, Clarksville, Tennessee. Very next day went to closing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
This house, I'm living in a house in Norhill. If you guys are familiar with that, in the Heights, it's almost 3,000 square feet. Big house. It's just me, right?
Yeah.
And I just bought this one in Spring Branch. It's 1,200 square feet. I'm like, I've never been so excited for a little house. Yeah. I'm like, this is great. It's not a mile walk from the bedroom to the kitchen.
I saw the surprise you had in your pool.
Yeah, we had a little possum in there. So that picture is to see. All right, so let me tell a story since we're on the show. So I'm at the house, and I was checking in on was it the French drains? I can't remember what I was doing. Oh, I had all these French drains installed and regrading the lot and all that stuff. Anyway, so I'm over there, and I'm running this little. I got a robotic thing that does the pool, even though my pool guy's there once a week. And I call Brian, and Brian's going to meet me over there for something. And so the pool is gigantic. It's 1,200 square foot house.
It's a good looking pool.
It's a great pool. We haven't even started the rehab on the pool yet, but the pool is almost as big as the house, and it goes from one side of the lot to the other. And so I see this pile of like brown stuff by the deep end in the drain, and I'm thinking, well, what is? I thought it was a pile of leaves, and it's dark outside. So I walk over there and I turn the flashlight on, and here's this possum. And what you can't tell from that picture is that pool is 9 feet deep.
Oh, wow.
It's a deep one.
Yeah.
It's an old pool. It's a deep pool. Plus where I'm holding it, it's probably 12, like where I'm taking the picture is 12 feet to the bottom. And so what you don't realize is that drain at the bottom is bigger than your head.
Oh, wow.
So that possum's the size of a small dog. I bet the thing weighed 20 pounds.
Whoa.
It was huge. So the possum couldn't swim out of the pool and drowned.
Oh.
So I posted on Facebook. Hey, what did I post? I'm going to need a new possum. Mine's broke. And what's funny is that sounds like a help me post in Facebook. And I got the algorithm picked it up and said, well, if you need help with your friends, time or money or something like that, make this kind of post. And they have like a special post for like giving and all that stuff. And I tried to do it, but I guess it figured it out, so I couldn't do it. But anyways, so what's funny is in that thread, my pool guy said, oh, that's going to be a fun one tomorrow. So we had to fish it out yesterday.
Oh, wow.
And I said, do a video of it and just post it on Facebook. He's like, I'm not going to do a video of it. But anyway, so then a couple of guys were telling me, in fact, Rob told me, he said, you need a frog log. I'm like, what's a frog log? And it's this thing you put into the pool, and it's got like a little pad on it, and then it's got like this screen thing and a weight that sits out of the pool. So when frogs and snakes and possums and all that fall in the pool, they kind of swim around to one of the edges until they find that and they get out. So so I ordered 2 because the pool's so big. They'll be here Friday, so I'll put them in there so we stop killing possums and cats or whatever falls in these stupid pools. But yeah, it was seriously a 20-pound possum, dude. It was huge.
Wow.
So that was my visitor.
But so I think we were talking about the future of 2021.
Yeah, future. Yeah, let's see what 21 looks like.
Yeah, so I think what we're going to try to do with these the new system is just going to make things so much easier so that we can concentrate on higher level thinking and that, I've got to send this thing for signatures, or we can think about how in each individual loan officer, because everything's going to be automated or automatically go out. It takes that, the little details out of the day. So you can think about how you grow your own personal business as a loan officer. And I see big potential for us just because of automating the systems that we have in place. It's going to make it so much easier for you to do things. You don't have to go over here and scan this in or send this. It'll automatically do it for you. So you'll spend more time in your brain on like, I can market this instead of, hey, I've got to do this, this, and this.
Yeah, I had always thought y'all's business is really, don't get me wrong, you always want to work with the new investor and all that stuff, but I always thought y'all's business is like there is a core group of clients. And can you spend more time sourcing deals for those clients and then lending them the money at the same time, right? Like I always thought that there's a way to make $1 gazillion working with a core group, especially since y'all are kind of a lot of lenders are this way, but you guys especially because you're so big. Like you guys are right in the middle of all these deals that get done, right? You've got all these wholesalers sending you deals. You've got deals that occasionally are busting out for whatever reason. Can they be renegotiated, and can those loans be given to other borrowers? And it's a really unique environment you guys are in because you're like the hub in this in all the transactions that take place here in Houston.
Oh, well, you're exactly right. And the greatest thing about that is that if there's deals that if we cannot do, or that client cannot do, I can say, hey, look, I know this person that may be able to partner with you, and I'll give them a call and say, hey, here's this deal. Here's the details. Do you think that you would be interested? Oh, yeah. Give me their name. Yeah. They'll partner up. Just because you've got to think of just because you don't have enough cash to maybe do a hard money loan or something, that's not a showstopper. You need to think outside the box of, okay, who could I partner with to get this done? So, on the first deal, maybe you're splitting your cost or your profits with, a partner, but it gets you in the property and gets the deal done. Yeah. And I've done that many a times. There's some people out there that always need mentoring. I recommend them to your group or, some other groups that are out there. Jet Lending, we like to think of ourselves as teachers, not just loan officers or a loan company. We want to teach you how to get deals done as well.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you bring somebody on board, lend them some money, and then that's the last deal they do. Well, that doesn't work for anybody. That's
not a benefit.
That doesn't work for anybody,
No.
Right? It's like it's much better when it's, hey, let's tell you why you should do this deal or structure it this way or do this a little bit differently, right? There's a million ways to do these deals, like you guys know, and what's the most beneficial for all the parties involved?
Yeah, and I always tell my clients this: never let something small keep you from asking a question. Well, how can we get this done? Yeah, let's think outside the box, and we always think together. Okay, okay, you may not have enough liquid assets on this deal, and I'm talking about this in particular because I just did this.
Well, let's do this. Let's talk about liquidity when we get back from the breaks. Jason Bible, Rob Trigg, Texas Real Estate Radio Network. I don't know what you guys did, but I swear it sounds better. Did you tinker with anything or no? You're just here. You're ambiance itself.
I'm just here, and I'll be here.
Oh, do you? It's like, he's here. We better act right. You'll get replaced. Tell you, the MacBook Air is working much better when I sent the other one back and said I wouldn't replace it, despite it being 7 years old. Yeah.
So speaking of your possum, I don't know if I ever showed you, like, one of my
Holy cow!
I want,
Sitting on the back porch with an AR.
Just for the record, the Roadrunner took out the Coyote 73 times in like 12 seasons.
Oh, that's funny.
Or whatever it was. So like in like 1 year,
He almost beat the Roadrunner.
he almost beat the Roadrunner.
that's crazy.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. I mean, that's fun. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me too.
Just sitting on your back porch with
Just picking them
with
off.
a 12-pack of beer.
Dude, I will tell you what, a buddy of mine is showing me a ranch that his friend owns, and they've got this feeder set up on the pond that's across from their backyard. And I'm like, look, I'm not a big hunter, but I'm like, I like that kind of hunting. Sitting on the back porch and just picking them off. I'm like, sign me up for
And
that.
game wardens don't care.
Yeah,
They don't care.
No.
Not about dangerous animals or what they call predatorial animals.
Yeah, yeah.
So you can shoot as many of them
That's
as you
right.
want because they're a nuisance.
I'm glad they did. They finally greenlit the helicopter hunting for hogs. I thought that was crazy. They wouldn't let us do that here. All right, A-Rock, you ready to go?
Now that's fun.
Oh, I've never done it, but I want to do it so bad. Welcome back to the show. Jason Bible, Robert Trigg, Texas Real Estate Radio Network. Rob's from Jet Lending. We're talking about creative financing, how to get deals done. And you're talking about a specific example you had where, here's the deal, right? The deal can make all the sense in the world, but at the end of the day, somebody's got to have some money, right?
Somebody's got to have a little skin in the game.
Got to have a little skin in there. Got to have some cash in case something goes wrong. Got to be able to pay contractors until they get a draw from you guys. I mean, there's got to be some money there.
There's got to be some protection on Jet Lending side. Most people don't understand what that protection means, but when we close a deal or underwrite it, we have to have some measures in place to know that as soon as we fund this deal, that it's not going to go bad.
Right.
So we have a liquidity requirement. It's usually about 6 months of interest payments and a third of the repair cost.
Okay.
That's it. If you could come up with that, then we'll close the loan. Now, you may have a great deal and maybe only have $1,000, $2,000. You're living paycheck to paycheck, wanting to get into this investment game. Well, we've got people that you can partner with. Hey, this guy's got liquidity. He's got experience. You're a new investor. Go partner with him, and he'll get your deal done for you. You split some of the cost, but he's still going to put, maybe $15,000 in your pocket. That's more than you have right now. Why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah. I think there's a couple things here that a lot of new investors miss. It's like they're waiting for the perfect deal. And I'm like, look, you don't understand. You've not been in the game long enough to get a perfect deal. It's kind of like, oh, you know what? I'm going to start learning how to play baseball, but I only want to go at bat when I can hit a grand slam.
Exactly.
And I'm like, that's not how the real world works. Like, sorry.
No.
You're going to have to do lots of at-bats. You're going to get lots of base hits. And then eventually your career's long enough, you're going to just start piling in grand slams. But you can't do that. You can't do that at your first at bat, right?
Well, I think that kind of goes to today's society. Everybody wants everything right now.
Right.
Right now.
Right.
Right now. In an investment world, yes, sometimes you will hit a home run on your first one. Very rarely.
Very rarely.
Very rarely will you. And I agree with what you just said, Jason. But sometimes there are those that are out there, and people tell these wild stories about, man, I made $50,000 on my first deal, and okay, yeah, those are one-offs.
Yeah.
But those are the guys that are out there beating their chest the loudest.
Right.
The reality is that you're going to get some base hits, and a lot of base hits before you do get that grand slam. It's okay to take a base hit. It's okay to say, hey, this is a smaller deal. You got people that did one flips and want to jump into multifamily. I'm like, come on, guy, pump the brakes a little bit.
I will tell you, our theme this year is 10 houses. Like, that's our theme. Get your 10 houses, then decide if you want to do commercial, you want to do whatever it is. It's 10 houses.
Yeah.
Before we get into, I'm going to do this and land trust and owner finance, then I'm going to do this commercial wrap, all that nonsense. It's like, let's just do 10 houses. Yeah. Let's get you 10 houses.
Get some experience.
Then let's decide what to do next.
Exactly.
Because the house is easy. When you start getting into commercial, it's kind of a different game.
Oh, yeah.
But 10 little houses, you got a decent job, you got a little cash in the bank. Just knocking out 10 houses. 10 little good base hits. We call it the fundamentals, right? Be really good at the fundamentals. Just bing, bing, bing.
It's like baseball, football, everything. What do they first teach?
That's
the fundamentals of baseball, the fundamentals of football. Yeah. Footwork. Make sure you can, run.
Yeah.
I don't know any coach that likes a slow runner, regardless if they're linemen, or if they're a wideout. They still want you to be able to be physically.
Yeah.
able to run.
You may not be able to run the full 100 yards as fast as you can, but you better run that 2 yards as fast as you're on that line, right?
Yeah.
So 3 yards. But it's there's fundamentals in everything, right? And if you don't master the fundamentals and you go immediately to, okay, we're going to run this type of play and do that, it's like, whoa, hold on. Can we run?
Yeah.
Can we catch? Can we throw? Let's do that first.
And if you can't catch, you can't run. In this case, if you can't buy a decent investment property and make some money off of it, then you kind of need to practice that.
Yeah, we need to get good at that first.
We need to get good at that first. And knowing how to rehab the property. That's a problem with a lot of new investors. They don't even know where to begin. Like, why would you, and I'm using as an example, why would you go in on a property and do all the inside work and then at the end go do your foundation?
Yeah, that's crazy.
It happened.
Are you serious?
It happened.
And then
I
the
was
foundation,
just
everything got screwed up.
I'm just like, I'm shaking my head. I'm just like, why would you do that?
I'm surprised nobody told him, like, hey, man, you got to do the foundation first.
Well, I mean, that's just common knowledge.
You would think. You build a house from the bottom all the way to the top, right? Yeah. So, interesting.
And I want to go back to kind of what you said about the 10 properties. You know, I often tell investors, and I'm no expert. I'd say I'm a pretty big expert on closing loans and hard money. I'm no expert on rehabs. I'm no expert on probably the investor side. I need a lot of work on myself. But what I would say is follow what one specific area of investing, like buy, fix, and sell, or buy, fix, and hold until you get good at it. And then say, okay, I've made all the cash I want to make buy, fix, and selling. Then you may want to venture off into the hold. Because it's a different ballgame.
Different ballgame.
You've got to figure out what your rents are. You got to figure out what your cash flow is. You got to figure out what appreciation is over a long time. When do I want to cash out on these? I mean, it's a different ballgame.
Yeah. The other way I like to put this is, people will say this crazy stuff like, "Well, Jason, it's quality over quantity," and I'll say, "Yeah, but if you don't have quantity, you don't know what quality looks like."
Exactly.
Like you got your beautiful Corvette, right?
Yeah.
If you got a Honda Accord and the only thing you ever drove the rest of your life was a Honda Accord, how would you ever know how fast a Corvette is? You'd never know.
I'd be depressed.
It'd be terrible. That's a terrible existence. It's an absolutely terrible existence.
It is. And that's a great analogy. You've got to really figure out what you're good at. I talk about Eddie Gant all the time. He is good at what I would like to call hoteling.
Oh, yeah.
He gets in, buys a property, fixes it up just a little bit, puts it back on the market. Makes a little profit, moves on to the next
one. Yep.
And he's been good at that.
Yeah.
He knows what he's good at. And he doesn't get away from it. He knows he's good at hard money. He doesn't get away from it.
Yeah.
Now, there's many branches to what we're doing inside of a hard money, non-QM, long-term, 30-year mortgages, getting into stuff like that, but it's still investment lending. Creative financing, as we're talking about.
Well, and everything builds on everything else. It's the base hits add up to the next base hits. It's adding. The way Rob and I put it, there's a loading order to this whole thing, and you can't jump out of that loading order and expect to be a gazillionaire in commercial real estate. It's like there's some steps we got to take in order to be successful. And one of the things I've also found too is there are very few real estate investors that are successful short term. It's a long term game. This is absolutely a long-term gain in the wealth building space.
Another good analogy is the movie Moneyball.
I've got it on my Netflix. I've never seen it. I don't know how I missed it.
How have you not seen this movie?
I want to see. I'm going to watch it this weekend.
You got to watch it. I mean, it has nothing to do with real estate.
Yeah.
But if you follow a specific plan, if you follow a specific plan that's put out and that works.
Yeah.
As long as you follow that, then you'll be successful. Follow the leader.
The other way I like to put this is, how many of y'all listen to the radio show went to college, right? And when you go to college, what's the first thing they do? They hand you the catalog or the degree plan. You just don't show up day one and randomly walk into a classroom. No, you've got a degree plan. And then what does that degree plan do? It tells you what courses you can take your first semester. And then in what order are you going to take those classes? What time are they? And then when you get to class, what happens? You just don't sit there and stare at the wall. They give you a syllabus. When are the quizzes? When are the tests? What's the material? What's my expectation in order to make a good grade in this class? Like, there's an entire process there. And for some reason, when people get into real estate, they just completely lose it. They just like, well, I don't need this process. All right. We get back from the break. We'll talk more with Rob Trigg of Jet Lending's Jason Bible, Texas Real Estate Radio Network.
How many segments left there, Mark?
We got one. You're hovering. What is it?
He's not wearing that sweatshirt in this building and not talking about Disney World.
Oh. Well, here, you guys can do Disney. You got one segment, so you guys can do Disney. I'm just sweating because the door was
It's definitely hot. Yeah. I think the heat's
How many
on some
segments
places.
we got left?
One more.
Just one more? Okay. All right. It is definitely hot, Jason.
Yeah, we got the heat cooking somewhere. Everything works in the building. The air conditioning, we just don't know where it works.
You know what it is? I think because Oz is in here and that door's open, so the heater's kicking on.
Yeah, it's definitely going on. Some plumbing things.
I think it's pretty cold.
Bring us in. Do you need time with him? Yeah. All right, because I got to get something in me. I got to get lunch. Hey, welcome back, everyone. This is Robert with Mr. Texas Real Estate. It's Texas Real Estate Radio Network. Here with our good friend Rob Trigg from Jet Lending. Why don't you go ahead and plug Jet Lending, give us the email address, the phone number, all that good stuff.
It's Rob Trigg. I'm senior loan officer. It's Rob at jetlending.com. It's one word altogether, Rob at jetlending.com. Phone number is 903-806-4400. You can call me, text me, email me. Night and day, I'll answer your call no matter what.
Absolutely. And you get a free hat.
And you get a free hat if you close a loan or two.
How's the family?
Family, man, the family's good. My baby turns 1 tomorrow.
We're awesome.
Man, I might tear up here in just a second. It's just so quick how quick it went by.
Sure.
It just blows my mind.
So how many other kids do you have?
I have a 8-year-old stepdaughter.
Uh-huh.
And me and my wife just had a discussion. We're about to try for
Going for
number
gotcha.
3.
Number three. Very good. The trifecta.
The trifecta. So,
Well, the problem is with a newborn is you can't really do Disney. It gets a little tough down there.
I know.
So now you're looking at maybe like a 4-year horizon before we're going back.
Yeah.
Before kids can like really remember.
Yeah. I love Disney. I've been there a couple of times, and it's so much fun. I know you and your wife go all the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If it's an even number month, we're in Disney.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I have not been since they did the new Star Wars exhibit.
Oh, my God.
One of my buddies was over there, and I said, look, I don't care how much it costs. Get me a lightsaber.
Yeah, for $200.
And he's like, it's $200. I Venmo'd him the money. I said, send it. And he's like, okay.
I think I'm back there in 5 weeks.
Oh, yeah. Y'all love it there, don't you?
Well, we have the vacation club.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So if we just keep using the points, and it's just the two of us, so we just get a studio. We don't need a big one, so we really stretch those points. And, you know, we this is how we do it. We get up in the morning, check email, make sure money's where it's supposed to be, and then run out the door, and we do like 3.
Oh, I've been a part of that.
Yeah, first hours, then we go back to the hotel room and answer all the phone calls, answer all the emails, and get ready for dinner and go back to the park, right? So
Yeah, Catherine she's like, look, I'm on my break from Disney, and I'm like,
right.
okay, let's get this done. Let's get this done.
So what I always tell people is we work from Disney versus taking a vacation.
Yeah.
Because we work every day. But we love it. I mean, it's just fantastic. So, well, you're definitely missing out on Star Wars.
I want to go. I want to go.
A couple of years, that'll be good. And
You're right. So we're going to try to get pregnant as quick as possible. I actually talked to her anyway.
let us know if you need any help with that.
I think my wife might have a little objections, but everybody.
Team effort.
if people have not met my wife, she's a perfect angel. She's just the greatest woman I've ever met in my entire life. But everybody that meets her, they come and whisper in my ear like, "You outkicked your coverage." I'm like, "Thanks."
Yeah.
Y'all really tell me how y'all feel about me.
Well, I always tell people I hit the wife lottery.
Yeah.
Right.
Your wife is awesome.
So
Your wife is absolutely awesome.
Super happy. But yeah, it's gonna take a little time. So You had a tough year too, right? You've gone through some ups and downs. You had the COVIDs, right?
I had COVID myself.
Yeah.
But and I will say this. I've said it 100 times, and I'll say it 100 more. If it was not for Alex and our company, we would not be able to have survived COVID.
Gotcha.
If it wasn't for the things that we put in place early in 2020, systems in place before COVID was even a thing,
right?
And that's why I was talking to Jason. We were talking about this new online tool that we have to close loans. It just kind of further propelled us to say, this is something else we need.
Yep.
We have so many people that were out in the office during COVID and still had to maintain function. We never skipped a beat.
No, we
COVID.
Closed some with you in the middle of all that nonsense. Yeah.
Never skipped a beat.
Yep.
It just kept going. I was getting up every day with COVID, going to my home office, and still working like I was at the office.
I want to say we probably borrowed $4 million plus from you during COVID.
I believe so.
Yeah.
It was the whole summer.
Yeah, we had a great year with you guys. It was wonderful.
And we need to repeat that.
Yes. We're working on it. You don't know if you told me. We're taking a
Catherine
little 60 and 90-day timeout. Just get everything stabilized. We get some things like we've got, we got to make sure all the LLCs are taken care of, and we have the right coverage on everything. We're double checking, so we're in sort of risk mitigation mode for the first.
And you have to.
Yeah, because we grew really, really fast with your help.
Yeah.
And guys, I'll just tell you right now, there's no way Jason and I where we're at without Jet Lending, and especially Rob. So he is our personal loan officer. He can be your personal loan officer. Give him the contact information again.
It's 903-806-4400 or rob@jetlending.com.
Yeah, so for sure, we're not here. We don't have this building. We're not succeeding. We're not talking about Teslas and all that other stuff without Rob Trigg and without Jet Lending. And so absolutely, guys, if you guys want him as your loan officer, here he is. Hook up. Let's go ahead and talk to him. Get yourself set up. Let's have a great 2021. And we all know that Jet can take care of you.
Yes, sir. And I appreciate y'all very much.
Yeah.
Y'all are easy to work with, and I mean it's just been an awesome experience. I'm proud to be y'all's loan officer.
We really don't have time to complain. That's our big thing, right? We're just running. So, and we thank you for all that stuff. So, I'm sure you've covered most of the products and everything with him. What are you guys thinking for the new year? You're thinking.
We're going to we're going to deploy this. I would like to see, me personally, and I think Eddie and Johnny and Alex share the same. We would like to grow our 30-year more, and we'd also like to grow our new construction. We just started out. Of course, there's some check boxes. We've already been through that. We've got to have at least 5 deals on the new construction. It's not for your average new investor.
5 ground ups or just 5?
5 ground ups.
Okay, how about additions? Would that qualify?
I asked that question. He said an experienced investor that's done 20, 30 deals. Yes.
Yep.
That's an easy yes.
Well, because we're looking at ground up.
Yeah.
I haven't done anything here in Houston ground up, but I did California and in New Jersey. I worked on a 15 home development and another 28 home development.
Yeah.
So
as long as you can show proof of that, then we're good.
Nothing recently.
Yeah.
Well, we'll figure it out. Yeah. Well, I think you guys are absolutely staying ahead of the market because infill is where it's going to be for the next 3 to 5 years, right?
Yep.
Until it pops again and we can circle back around and start finding 70, 65% ARV minus repairs, people are going to start, and you should take a serious look at it. We've talked about it all last year. We put our ducks in a row. We're going to go for 4 units. We're going to build 4 units so that we can get an FHA loan, a standard 30-year mortgage on it after we roll it out.
Okay.
And so that's our thing is investors are going to come in. We're going to do ground up, and then we're going to roll out that 4 unit into a 30-year fixed mortgage. Not a non-QM, like a straight-up standard mortgage, right? So 4%, 3.8%, whatever it is these days. And most of my guys in our mastermind will qualify for A paper. They're good.
Yeah. Well, and to speak on that, I always start a conversation when somebody's talking about long-term. And I ask them, if they're a smart investor, I'll ask them, why do you want to use non-QM? I want to know that up front. That way I'm not asking ridiculous questions that they don't know. If they say, hey, I don't know why, then I'll explain it to them, what the benefits, and then I'll explain the pros and the cons. And I'll say, well, if you can qualify for conventional mortgage, go. I would want you to go to try that first.
I agree 1,000%.
Because, those are lower interest rates. Your cash flow is going to be a little bit better.
And I'll tell you, this is what Jet Lending is also really good at, is that they basically provide some consultation. So we're about to wrap up here, but give them your contact information one more time.
Again, it's 903-806-4400 and rob@jetlending.com.
Again, he's our loan officer. Make him yours. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for talking a little Disney with me. Hey, we'll be back tomorrow night, guys.
Thanks.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, good to see you too. I'm running around.